Hi. So in this video, we're going to be looking at how we can create this calculator application. So we are required to enter two numbers as inputs, number 1 and number 2, and then we display 4 options to the user, enter 1, 2, 3 or 4, okay? And then when the user selects one of these options, we perform the appropriate operation on the two numbers and give the result. Okay, so let's start coding. Okay, so we have two numbers. I'm going to call them integer num1 and num2. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is to prompt the user to enter number 1. Okay, and that will go into num1. Alright, and then we can repeat that over here for number 2. Okay, now that we have captured both the numbers, alright, what we are required to do is to display the calculator functions and the options. Okay, so those are just a bunch of cout statements. Okay, so I'm going to just make sure I print a new line, okay, at the end. Option 1 is plus, okay, so I'm just going to copy this a few times. Okay, option 2 is minus, option 3 is multiply, and option 4 is divide. Okay, and then we're going to ask the user to select an option 1, 2, 3 or 4. And since the user is not going to give us an input 1, 2, 3 or 4, we want to capture that. So I can create another variable here called option. Alright, and I'm going to capture the input and place it into this variable called option. Okay, so right now what we're going to do is, what we need to do is, based on the value provided by the user, I perform the appropriate operation. You can use if-else statements. Alright, that is one option, but I'm going to show you the switch case option over here. So I'm going to switch the option. Okay, so for switch case, basically, again, it is very useful in cases where you're only checking for specific numbers, like what we are seeing here, 1, 2, 3 or 4. And we can also use the default case, alright, when the input or the value in the variable does not match any of the cases. Okay, so we have case 1, case 2, case 3 and case 4, and then we have a default. Okay, so for each case I need to display the output. Alright, so what I can do is I can straight away print out num1. Okay, and for option 1 it is addition, so I'm going to print the addition character here, followed by num2 value, and then the result. Okay, so it will be equals to num1 plus num2. Alright, so of course if you want, you can create an extra variable and perform this addition or subtraction or whatever operation and store it in that variable and then use that for the printout. But in the current context it is not necessary, so I'm just directly going to do the calculation and print out the result. Okay, so I put an end line there to make sure we go to a new line. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this, okay, and I'm going to put them here. Okay, and for cout, let me complete the cout first. So it's going to be invalid input. Okay, so this basically means that if the user has entered any value other than 1, 2, 3 or 4, I will print invalid input. Okay, so let me update the correct signs over here. So for case 2 it is minus, and I need to do the minus. For case 3 it is multiply, and multiply over here, and then this is divide, and divide over here. Alright, so let's run the code. Okay, so I'm going to enter the first number, let's say 7 followed by 2 and the operation. So if I select operation 1, that means it is addition. Okay, okay, so it is doing all of the operation at the same time and also printing invalid input. Okay, now why is that? Because for switch case, it is very important that we put a break statement. Okay, so we did not put the break statement here after each case. Okay, so we need to make sure we put the break statement after each case, just to ensure that once any case is fulfilled, I do not execute the rest of the statements. Okay, so let me run that one more time. 7 1. Okay, 7 plus 1 is 8. Alright, so let's try another value. 6 9, and I do option 3, which is multiply 54. Let's try one more case. 4 2, and I do okay, maybe I put 8. So it says invalid input. Alright, so that's the default case. Okay, let's try one more time. 5 3, and I'm going to do option 1, so I get 8. Okay, so basically what you see here is a very simple calculator application where you provide two numbers and you perform the necessary operation. Again, this is not a complete code. Alright, there is still error checking that you can do. For example, for divide, you can check to make sure that num2 is not 0 first, alright, before you can do the division. If not, you can print some error message and so on. Okay, so again, to develop a full-fledged application, you need to do many levels of checking to make sure that the inputs satisfy certain requirements and so on. But this is just a simple idea to get you to practice and have more hands-on practice with the coding. Alright, so thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Alright, bye.